Nearly 6 months.
And you did 7 grand in commissions last month.
Yeah.
No way, you got outed in
I
the
got
group
outed
chat.
big time.
Oh.
I got a screenshot, hung up the phone, and I was just like, I had like 5 seconds of just embarrassment flood over me. Nobody's gonna be coming to save you.
Here's a cutter, mate.
Cheers.
Liza. Let's enjoy a nice little smoke.
So my name's Danny. I've been in sales about 6 months. My career up until that point and around now has been in project management in the pharmaceutical industry, but I found that very unfulfilling, and realised after seeing one of my friends that sales, is a excellent avenue to actually achieve what you want and get out of work what you put in. So after making that shift, I've completely, had a change. It's completely overhauled my life, realistically. I have now displayed work ethic that I didn't realise I was even capable of, and all that work is paying off. So last month I made 7k from sales, and it's just opened so many doors, thanks to alpha setters, realistically. So yeah, that's a bit about me.
So guys, we've changed the setting because we had to move things around. A billionaire has actually just walked into the lounge right now. I've just met a billionaire. Yeah, we just met a very influential guy that's just walked into the lounge right now. He's got this really cool company where he sells cigar accessories, which is really cool. This is just a random day in the cigar lounge where we're networking with some really successful entrepreneurs, which is cool. Yeah, you've been in sales now for how long?
Nearly 6 months.
And you did 7 grand in commissions last month.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the journey then. So what did you have to go through? Like what sort of challenges did you face, and what did the journey look like getting to this point where making 7 grand a month in comms? That's pretty serious.
Yeah, well, truthfully, I think I've been quite fortunate, to be honest, in my journey. Opportunities have found their way to me throughout the time I've been in sales. So I remember going back to my first week, I was quite nervous actually about the market in general for setters. I was concerned, I had some anxiety around how saturated the market was. I didn't even really know what appointment setting was until I joined. That was my origin story of joining Alpha Setters is a little bit unusual. Of course, I have a mutual friend with Temi, and that's how I sort of got introduced to it. But about a week in, I got 3 interviews lined up in a row for appointment setting roles, and I remember just leaning back in my chair and having this absolute confidence that it was all going to work out. And since then, I've been on about 5 or 6 appointment setting roles, each one just more successful than the last. Eventually, finding my way to a good role through the help, mostly, to be honest, with the network that I've managed to build using alpha setters. So leveraging all the group calls, I'm in quite a few of those.
You're always in the group calls. If you miss group calls for a week, I'd probably assume that you was in danger. Is how active you are in those group calls.
Yeah, and coming to as many link-ups as possible. I came to a link-up 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
And from that one link-up, I had multiple roles.
Yeah.
From meeting Chan and Chris, people like that. To be fair, I was actually already working for Chris by the time I got there. So yeah, I mean, that's another example of how I think I got quite fortunate, because working for Chris was probably the thing that accelerated my progress the most in appointment setting, because I effectively had free one-to-one, with Chris. And of course it was in his interest for me to do well. We need another one of these. Yeah, shout out to Chris, because that month or so I was working for him, the constant communication, that just accelerated my progress tenfold. And I think that's there's a lot to be said there with my success so far, truthfully.
I think that's one of the best things about the community right now, is the fact that we've got so many people that have actually gone down the Ascension program, got into managing, because it's like people like Chris, people like David, people like Chan, they've been in Alpha Setters since 2023. An interesting stat is that there's no one that's been in Alpha Setters since 2023 that's not making at least 8 grand a month. And all of these guys, it's like they've been in the game for so long that
Yeah.
and because they're always posting opportunities for the Alpha Setter boys for you guys to apply for, if you get a role underneath one of our old-time students as a manager, it's like you're getting free one-on-one coaching every day. You've got someone to just really teach you the game, the ins and outs of the industry.
It would be unreasonable to not be a good setter after going through that. Do you know what I mean?
But you said something super interesting. Like you said, like when you first joined and in that first week of being there, like you was a little bit worried about market saturation.
Yeah.
But then by the end of like your first week, you had 3 interviews lined up. Would you say that was like a turning point that shattered your limiting beliefs of market saturation?
Completely.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way to describe it. And, you know, that just comes from relentless outreach and fully dedicating every effort of that day for that entire week to trying to find a role. You know, there's not really any shortcuts. People often will say, what's the best way to do outreach? And if you just actually apply yourself, I truly had never applied myself like that in my entire life until that point. Wow. I was like, right, I'm £1,000 in.
Yep.
You know, this has to work now. I'm at least going to give it 100% effort. That's the least I can do.
Fucking great mindset, to be honest. Fucking great mindset. So let's talk about the outreach, because you smashed it on the outreach. You put so much dedication and effort into that outreach. So what would you say are the main things that you learned from Alpha Setters in order to make it unreasonable that you didn't do well with your outreach? What are your main key takeaways that you can teach someone watching this video?
For successful outreach.
For successful outreach, yeah.
So I think it's a key characteristic of people who start doing outreach that their message is terrible.
Yeah.
It's almost inevitable, realistically, and I truthfully think the best way to make a start is by giving it a go. But this is something that Temi taught me, and then was heavily reinforced by Chris, was that from opening messages in general, whether it's for yourself or for your client, you have to be split testing. It's a non-negotiable. And 99 guys out of 100 realistically don't do it well enough, truthfully. You know, and that just blew my mind, honestly, because after that belief was instilled in me, it's just become a non-negotiable, and it makes such a big impact. You can't even don't even chat to me about outreach if you're not tracking it, because you're supposed to know the stats. You have to know the stats. Do you know what I mean? So crafting those messages, you're blind to the success of them if you're not tracking it. But tracking it allows you to appreciate success, but then refuse complacency, change little parts of it until suddenly you're getting, I think my best replier is 68%.
Damn.
So that's just the way it goes from tracking it. You know what I mean?
Is that cold outreach?
Yeah,
68%.
No, that was on LinkedIn. So I arguably wasn't cold, because you're speaking to connections.
That's cold.
But
that's LinkedIn's version of cold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And those connections, I'd cold outreach.
Yeah,
do you know what I
yeah.
mean? So I don't.
That's solid. Like that is actually like in itself a service. Like outbound on LinkedIn with a 68% response rate. That in itself is a high ticket offer that you could actually sell to people, because that is nuts.
I have charged
a
coaching call specifically on outreach, just a one-time coaching call.
Yeah.
And because when you do something like that and you're active in the community, word gets about. Multiple people have come up to me saying, I heard you're good at outreach, blah blah blah. Ask for advice. So it's good to see the fruits of my labour.
Nice, mate. That's cool. So then, you had about five different offers, like slowly progressing, like as you gained experience. The first ones, like you started off outbound.
Yeah.
Do you feel like outbound was a character builder? Like how did you find it?
100%.
Because I started in outbound.
What's that?
I started in outbound too.
Yeah. You can't be skipping outbound.
Nah, bro.
Especially if you want to progress into this space where you're managing. Of course, I'm not really there yet, but I acknowledged early on that you can't be skipping these stepping stones, How are you going to tell someone how to do outbound if you weren't in the trenches yourself? Mm-hmm. So, especially cold outbound, it's a completely different ballpark, truthfully, to inbound. And it takes a different type of persistence and resilience, truthfully, to excel at.
The thing is, it's like a lot of people would come into the market and just see all of the lay down offers, because there's a lot of lay down offers where it's just like lead, slam dunk it, cash.
Yeah.
And I think it is, truthfully, like it's easier than ever to land a role like that because there's so many operators and coaches breeding the next generation of coaches. Like coaches is just booming. There's so many new ones every 2 seconds, and they're all running ads. They're all doing good content. There is a lot of good offers, but sometimes the quick cash is not always the best option.
No.
Sometimes the skills and building the foundation is going to be the thing that pays you 5 years from now, but it pays you tenfold. Rather than if you took the shiny
It's
object.
about the skills.
Yeah.
It is about the skills. It's so much more important than getting paid quickly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the top guys you hear about, they didn't make money for ages.
Yeah.
And they're almost grateful for that because the lessons you learn, and it's just adding layers to your armor, you know, prepares you so well for the dark days, which inevitably are always going to come, aren't they? So honestly, I've acknowledged that's something which I've been fortunate to skip, but arguably, you know what I mean? If times got really dark, we're talking the Chris 60 calls booked, no comms, those sort of times. You know, take from that what you will, but hopefully the sun keeps shining.
It's funny because me and Chris are still both good friends with that first client that Chris had. We bumped into him in Iron Napa this year.
Of all places.
I was walking down the street and I was like, is that fucking
I actually
Vivica?
remember you saying
I
about
like,
that.
it was bloody Vivica. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo.
With a limiting belief.
Yeah. But yeah, no, 100%. Like the dark times, it builds character. And if there's one thing that you need in order to be successful in an industry full of so many killers, is you need to have that determination, that grit.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
So what was the situation that you was in before you started sales then?
Great question. So the situation before I was in sales, I've been lucky enough since I was about 16 to have quite a stable job and earning a decent, respectable income for my age. But I have high goals, like of course you do as well. And truthfully, I just knew from as soon as I was an adult really that I didn't just want a career that mediocrely financially supported me. I wanted to actually become free and enjoy my career. That was the fundamental belief. I think I'd been brought up in a world where, you know, you have your honest 9 to 5, you go to work, you just thug it out for 40 years doing something you don't even necessarily enjoy, and that's just the normal. But I refuse to accept that, truthfully, and it's a massive goal of mine for my career to be fulfilling. So that's what really got the cogs turning, and about 6 months ago I decided I was going to try and get a side hustle because I was in a position where, you know, I had, realistically, you have way more free time than you think, you know. Being just an average person, you go to your job, you come home, you play Xbox for about 5 hours, you maybe go to the gym. And
was you an Xbox guy or something?
Yeah. And
Big
Xbox guy. And that's like, if you go to the gym and you have a decent job, people will consider that you're doing well.
Yeah.
But it's actually so poor. The bar is so low. The productivity spectrum is, there's like, you think you're at 90%, but there's a whole nother one. Do you know what I mean? It goes a whole step further. And my eyes were slowly becoming awakened to that due to a friend, because he'd been making more progress from the productivity side. And yeah, that's what really got me into it. And he put me in contact with Temi, and the rest is history. But to be honest, that's actually not the rest is history, because even just making that first step into sales, that's only half the pie with productivity, really. I mean, the community really is what pushed me to become super productive. I was about a week in to Alpha Setters, and I'll never forget this day. Truthfully, it was like a life-changing moment. Maxim screenshotted a picture on me, because on Discord it's connected to your Xbox account, so you can see when people are playing.
No way you got outed in the group chat.
I got outed big time.
Oh.
I got a screenshot. Maxim put a screenshot of me playing Call of Duty, and everyone, he's like atting Chris. Everyone's slamming me.
Chris is getting atted.
And
Chris is violating.
It's funny because
flags everywhere.
You actually don't see this reaction too much from everyone. But my reaction was literally, like, I was obviously embarrassed, but my reaction was, truthfully, guys, is this actually the standard that you guys are expecting? Like, I've done my outreach, you know, and someone was literally like, you're joking, are you rich yet? And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I took out my Xbox, I literally unplugged it, put it in a drawer, never took it back out. I sold it like last week.
Nice.
That's the first time I've taken it out of the drawer since that day, truthfully. And
that is the thing. Is like the standards is like in Alpha sets that the standards is high. It's like you could be printing 20 grand a month, but if you was like obese and you came to a meetup, like someone would keep it real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be like a case of like everyone's just going to be kind of like polite and like they don't want to tell you, but like you need to lose some weight. It's like someone's actually going to sit you down and be like, bro, like you need to sort it out because you are actually really fucking fat.
Yeah.
If there's so many guys where it's like their day one experience in Alpha Setters is their bloody Discord is connected to their Steam or their Xbox like it was with you.
Yeah.
And I log onto Discord and I just see the new guy getting rinsed with gay flags and I'm just like, oh no, he's gonna leave, he's gonna report me. But more time, like they don't. They appreciate it and they change their life. Because the environment that you put yourself in dictates your standards, what you think is normal.
Exactly.
If it is not normal for Alpha Setters to be wasting time doing degenerate things, wasting their life away, and not pushing to be the best version of yourself, if you're not doing that, then you're weird. And as people, we don't want to be weird. We want to fit in with the group that we associate ourselves with.
And it also ties in nicely to the fact that you're not actually a product of your surroundings.
Yep.
Your entire social circle, you're a product of the people who you want to impress.
Yeah, fact.
And when you just join a community like that, those are now the people who you actually hold yourself around. So yeah.
It's so funny that I truthfully, like, I didn't even remember that you was one of the guys that got outed for Xbox. And truthfully, it's like looking at you today, I would have never even expected that. But that's how much progress you've made.
Well, a lot of people have a similar origin story, really.
I've got the same
exactly,
origin story.
Exactly. So
yeah,
maybe it shouldn't be so surprising. I was a grinder, mate. I had some serious stats on Call of Duty Zombies.
Really?
That was my shit, yeah.
Zombies is my thing as well, bro. Me and Jordan. Yeah.
Just there sweating away in your little room for 5 hours at a time.
Yeah. I was Jordan was an Easter egg guy.
Yeah.
I never did an Easter egg ever in my life.
Yeah. High rounder.
I was around 100 every map type of guy.
I was both.
You was both.
Yeah, I was both.
Yeah, but okay. That's insane, bro. I mean, the progress is crazy. So, I mean, you said the community is a big part. Yeah. I know, like, you're one of the guys where it's like you're always in the group calls. You really immerse yourself inside of that community group
I love
chat.
the community. I'm always active. I'm so active.
Some of your best friends are now from that community.
100%.
You're a guy where it's like you're always linking up with the boys after hours. You come to Prague. You come to everywhere, pal. So it's like I always say. I think truthfully, if I was to put it down to something, the biggest thing that will dictate to someone's success is how much they immerse themselves in the community. Because we've got guys that have been in Alpha Set since 2023. We've got guys in there that have been like for example, like Thierry or like Morgan. It's like we've got guys that have actually made such massive months in commissions that they can support you just as much as I can. And sometimes you'll resonate from the lesson of someone that's more relatable, more than you'll resonate to someone like me who last appointment start in 2022.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that long ago? That's crazy.
It's been like 4 years. It's probably been almost 3 years today since our last appointment start.
So it's hard really for you to, put yourself in the shoes in some respects.
No,
based
100%.
on the modern market, yeah. Things change so quick.
Yeah, definitely.
It must be a completely different game now.
I think management keeps me sharp. It keeps me in tune with what's going on in the market. But it's like the industry has changed so much since when I first got started.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't get outreach messages every day from setters in 2022. You just wouldn't.
I get people sometimes messaging me. I'm like, I'm literally a setter.
Yeah.
So I bet you get fucking hundreds.
Oh mate, every day.
And you're like, if people actually did research, they'd know not to message you. Do you know what I mean?
know.
Which is just crazy.
It's gonna get to a point where I'm just gonna start selling all these guys that reach out to me, man. Because I know, like, at this point, I know I've got the best student results. I've been in the industry for the longest, But tell us about the role that you're on at the moment, anyway, because you made £8 grand comms last month. Like that, you must have
Seven.
You made £7 grand comms last month. Like, you must have a a pretty damn good role.
I love my role.
Yeah.
I love my role so much. Yeah, yeah. So I work for a solar company, handling inbound leads that come in. I give them a ring. I've got my script. Me and my the business owner, me and my client, we're on amazing terms. We speak to each other constantly. I'm actually going to their Christmas party on Friday.
Nice.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Yeah, going down to Bournemouth. It's going to be great. I'm really excited about that. But, you know, he values me massively as an asset to the business, I can tell, which is just something I'm really proud of, truthfully, because I can bring a lot of sales conversation to the table, and you know, having that relationship is something that is fulfilling in itself, truthfully, and I can see a future there, which it's lucky. Feel very fortunate to be in that position, and that role has just come from networking, you know. So if I hadn't been so immersed in the community, that probably wouldn't be in the position I am to this day. And after reaping the rewards somewhat from that role, I decided I was going to go all in and focus on it. Because before I'd had 2, even 3 roles at a time before, but now this is my only one. So I focus on this, my job, of course, and reading. That's like, apart from training, I do like Muay Thai and lifting weights every day, but apart from that, it's like 80%, 90% of my day.
That was another thing, to be fair. It's like you the first time you did combat sports was at the seminar, wasn't it? That we did in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And you loved it.
Yeah.
Like you was proper game.
Truthfully, it was that in combination with then religiously watching the How to Become a Fucking Weapon modules.
Yeah.
I was like, do you know what?
Yeah.
It's not really up for discussion. If I want to be well versed in as many realms as possible, then combat has got to be one of them.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable.
That bloody horse module, like that'll go down. That'll be remembered.
It's not appreciated enough.
Yeah.
It's not appreciated anywhere near
I
enough.
mean, even Thierry, like Thierry joined already making money as a setter. He was making about 2 to 2.5 grand a month when he first joined.
Yeah.
His record month was 18k comms before tax.
That's crazy.
And he said, when I interviewed him at the end of his one-on-one coaching term, I had the final call. I was like, "What do you think was the biggest thing that helped you, so that I can replicate this with other students?" And he said, "I'll be honest, man. Like the coaching has been super, super useful. But if I'm going to be completely transparent, the number one thing that helped me get towards my goals was the Become a Fucking Weapon course."
I don't disagree with that statement. You know, it just unlocked a mindset shift. You know, not only just about being a good man, but really what you want to get out of life, and in its general form. Because there's of course more to life than just making money.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes hand in hand with a lot of things, and getting every aspect of your life in check just elevates everything. It's simple, you know, it's really not that complex, but
Yeah.
people overlook a lot of that side of things, I think.
And I also remember a core thing, because your role at the moment is phone setting. And I literally said on the last student interview that I just recorded with Sam, I think phone setting is probably the best way to print serious cash in employment setting right now. Like phone setting is damn good.
It was your idea.
I meant, yeah, you asked.
I asked you, I was like,
You asked you always ask good questions.
I try.
Yeah.
I try. I came to a group call and I was like, right, tell me what sort of avenue do you think I should go down next? And you were like, inbound dialing. 1 week later, I was on them dials.
You said like what would you do if you had to start again? I said, to be honest, pal, I think the best roles right now, if you want to stack serious cash, is phone setting. And literally a week later, you implemented it. Messaged me saying, Temi, after your group call last week, landed a phone setting role. I was like, this guy's gonna smash it. I knew he was gonna smash it on a phone setting role as well, because you're so likable. Like you are just a guy where you've got no enemies. Like everyone seems to get along with you. Like you are just charismatic. So like, what's your advice to people watching that have got a phone setting role? Like, what are the main things that have helped you absolutely smash it as a phone setter?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think a lot of people in sales in general don't really ask these sort of questions. But this was something that I asked myself new into the role. You know, how can I actually excel at this? Because it's a completely different ballpark, realistically, to sending DMs. And first of all, just learning more about sales in general is always going to help you, because it's more, you know, going to that side of closing and, in-person interactions, of course, you're talking to someone, not just texting them. So there's many more aspects that come into it: tonality, pacing, articulating yourself, not saying filler words, product knowledge, all these things. Because you're put on the spot more, of course, you don't have that time to react. And books such as Way of the Wolf, that's helped me a lot. Just analysing the secondary part of the role, So not just what you're saying, but the order of it, how you're saying it, getting in the mood to actually go for it, being impartial. I would literally before just be like staring at my script and trying to make notes, but now I'm just sitting back in my chair almost laughing at them. Not laughing at them, but do you know what I mean?
Laughing with them.
You're laughing with them and
You're
you're being
laughing with them.
enthusiastic, but you're also
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not getting bogged down in what they're saying, because often you have people who aren't the most friendly, but you have to just be impartial, and just forever keep your energy.
Yeah.
And not let it become tainted, because like I called someone last week, and my role, my client's not very bothered about my schedule when I take the phone, but if I'm awake, I want to be taking calls, because inbound leads are coming in at all times. But about 9-10 p.m, it kind of gets to a point where like it's a rate of diminishing returns of the amount of people who want to be on the phone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always a conversation I have with myself when one pops through it out of hours of, do I even bother calling it or just wait till tomorrow? But of course, we also know the rate of diminishing returns with people picking up in general, the longer you leave it after they opt in. So it's a bit of a mental battle you have to go through. But regardless of that, nevertheless, I decided to give this man a call. And upon realising the reason for my call, he was just like, oh, mate, it's 9 p.m. Wrong time, buddy. Hung up the phone, and I was just like, oh. I had like 5 seconds of just embarrassment flood over me. I'm just like, oh, what am I thinking? But then I was like, do you know what? I knew that was a real risk, and you just have to, bring yourself back up, come out to that higher mindset. And another lead came in 5 minutes later. I was like, let me not get beat up by what just happened, called him back, booked him in. Do you know what I mean? So having that mindset to just troop on regardless of when things go bad is something that I definitely think is important. Also, getting back to your question, I kind of went off on a bit of a tangent there. The second thing I think has massively transformed my success on the dials has been reviewing my dials. I made it...
That's exactly what Sam said as well.
I made it a mission the last 2 months to review almost every one of my dials realistically. And it's painful to start, I remember you saying when we had this discussion a few months ago, but after 4 or 5 times you get very used to it, and it's nobody's going to be coming to save you, whether you've got a manager or whatever. It's really up to you to determine how good you are at your role. So knowing that, I just started relentlessly studying my own performance, and you pick up so many things that you're doing wrong that you never even would have thought were the case. Even ones that you thought went well. You listen to the back and you're like, oh. Even just one filler word pisses me off.
Yeah,
even one because you just sound like you don't know what you're talking about. Truthfully, if you truly project your script with full conviction, ace product knowledge, no filler words, it would be unreasonable for them not to treat you as a position of authority. Do you know what I mean? Simple as that. So getting as close as you can to that point. Of course, having regular meetings with my client and developing product knowledge, learning more about solar, the panels, what we actually offer. There's always more to learn. And making an active attempt to constantly improve that is what I would say has been the most helpful thing to improve my success on the dials.
I think intention is everything. Reviewing the dials is always painful, but if you go into that with an intention, like 100% of the time when you listen to your own calls, you'll always find areas of improvement. 1% better every day, alongside the compounding effect. The compounding effect, like if just small improvements over time will just have, it's not like you're going to get 1 times better results. Sometimes it's not even like you're going to get 2 times better results. Like usually it's like you're going to get like 10 times better results. Because sales is an industry, truthfully, where winner takes all, and it's just those small things, consistently. Going back to that whole thing about you calling the lead at 9 p.m, and then say that another one coming through, you didn't allow yourself to get negged, and you just called it. I think that's the core philosophy of what makes a good salesperson. In door-to-door sales, we'd set expectations and be like, to a new starter that walks into the office, it's like, I expect you to have 100% attitude every single day. But more importantly than having 100% attitude, I need you to maintain 100% attitude. Because truthfully, pal, in sales, there is 100% going to be some point every single week where you're going to get negged.
Yeah.
But the hard part is, like, it's all fun and games, like watching a motivational video, waking up in the morning and be like, I'm going to have a great day today. But you are going to get negged at some point. And the hard part is being able to catch yourself when you're negged and being able to pick yourself back up.
Yeah.
And that was the exact situation that you just went through.
100%. Do you know what I think this is reminding me of? Something that kind of goes hand in hand with keeping that resilient mindset is stoicism.
Yeah.
So I've got this book called The Daily Stoic, and it has 366 quotes, essentially, with a breakdown underneath. Quite small paragraphs, just one on each page, and every morning I just flick it to today's page. First thing when I wake up, just read some stoicism and just remind myself that it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you react to it. And it just sets the frame for the day, you know, to keep a level head and take a second to just remove emotions from the way you act, think logically, and remain rational at all times. And that in itself has a profound impact in every aspect of life, realistically, in every way you interact with other humans specifically. So
going back to like what we was talking about at the start, I remember my stoicism arc was such a massive turning point in life. This is 2022.
That doesn't surprise me.
When I was reading meditations for the first time in 2022, this is just before I even started setting as well, and I was working at Nando's at the time.
Yeah.
And like that was such a big turning point, pal. Honestly, I remember it like it was yesterday. That.
Yeah.
I've got Marcus Aurelius quote, Book 5, verse 1. It's on the top of my whiteboard to this day. To this day, it's been there for 4 years.
You got it bar for bar?
No, I don't have it bar for bar, but I remember the philosophy, which is that the ants, the birds, the spiders, and the bees will all wake up and do their part in order to give purpose to the world. But why we as humans think we can lay in bed under a nice warm blanket and think, oh, I'm going to sleep in today.
We've got a job to
do. Whilst the animals are outperforming us, it's just fucking stop.
You can't be high rolled by a bumblebee.
You can't be getting high rolled by a bumblebee. You just can't. So I just thought that was such a good point, because it's like, yeah, man, like as humans, like we're blessed to have our neocortex and be able to just make such complex decisions and do such cool things and have so much imagination, and really create whatever life we want to live and dedicate ourselves to so many different purposes. But we get lost in the source and we get too comfortable.
100%. You get lost in your ape part of your brain.
Yeah.
When, like you say, we've been blessed with a fully functioning neocortex, and you just need to grab hold of that.
Yeah,
take
100%. 100%. So, pal, I just want to ask like one final question, mate. So, you know, you've been in that Alpha Setters, like you was one of those guys, truthfully, where it's like my brother was handling objections to get you in there. Like he had to fight to get that fucking close.
That's true.
But, you know, you made the jump. What would you have to say to someone that was in that same position as you, where he was a bit skeptical about joining, you didn't really want to make the jump? What advice would you have to someone in that position?
Great question. I think my answer would be, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's is going to come to save you. In this world, you have maybe a handful of people who really care about you if you're lucky. So it's up to you to get out of life what you want. And if you're not going to take that risk, you don't deserve it. You deserve to be where you are, truthfully. And it's up to you whether you actually make that change, because all of us, before we are in sales, you know, we've started in a way where we're not very productive, but you know, everyone has that time where they decide today is the day, and there's no point getting bogged down in that you weren't that guy. You've made all these decisions to not take risks beforehand, because in a moment's notice you can just decide to take control and take that risk. So don't get in your own way. Simple as that.
Fantastic, mate. I mean, I just want to say, Danny, just to end off this interview, I'm very proud of you, like the progress that you've made. Super, super proud. First 7K month, but more importantly than the commission side of things, it's like just the character that you've become. You are such a valued member of the community, and you are just truthfully like one of the guys where I just say like, I just love to hang around you. You give me energy, love being around you, pal, and you've absolutely smashed it. So I just want to say, I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you, mate.
Very proud of you, and I look forward to the next chapter. Traveling next year, right?
That's true.
You finish your job,
Yeah.
and you're going traveling.
That's it.
I love it, mate. So yeah, I wish you the best of luck with that, pal, and thanks for the interview.
Appreciate it, mate.
I'll link Danny's socials below the video so that you can check Danny out, or if you've got any questions for Danny. And aside from that, boys, just if you want to get involved in Alpha Setters, you want to be a part of the winning team. Also, there is a link in the description where it will take you to a video which will explain a little bit more about what we do, and it will also give you an option to book a call so you can chat to me and my brother, and we can explain everything in a little bit more detail. So I hope it helped, boys, and as always, keep grinding.